My Mother Said I Shouldn't with Sarah and Michaela.
Two best friends and coaches proving that life doesn't end at 30.
Outrageous and unfiltered.
You might not believe what comes next.
Hey everyone, welcome back to
Welcome back.
My Mother Said I Shouldn't. So it's my question today, or conversation topic. And what I'm going to throw out is my mother said I shouldn't be too picky
With your sweets?
with. I am very picky with what sweets I eat. With your relationship
with your man
or woman.
or woman. Oh, woman.
Well, for men and women.
Oh, right.
So-
I thought you were coming out. I was like, okay, I've known you for a long time.
No, man or woman. For obviously any woman, anybody really, any relationship out there, then it can be anybody really. So
My mum used to say that I shouldn't be so picky either because she was scared that I'd wind up single and alone forever.
right,
Yeah.
but then what is too picky?
Well, I don't know. I ended up settling.
Sorry, Tom.
No, I didn't settle. He's wonderful. But my mum kept saying to me, I'd be like seeing someone, and I was a serial dater as well. So I'd
You were
be
good at
seeing
dating.
someone.
You were good.
I was, yeah. I mean, it depends what is good. I went on a lot of dates.
Like, yeah, but you got yourself out
I
there.
got myself out there.
You were learning who you wanted, who you didn't want.
Very
like,
true.
Found, and
As soon as I knew I wanted a relationship, I was dating. I was like, let's get this done. Let's do it.
she's a doer.
I am a doer.
She's a doer.
But the problem was with that is, I would go on a date and I'd be like, nah, or, they'd be like, nah, or it just wouldn't work out. And my mum would be like, I'd be telling her that I've got dates and they've not gone, they've not gone well, because I would always be like, well, I've learned something. I've learned what I don't want, which is wonderful. Or, that has been a learning curve. This dog, he's playing with his...
What's he doing?
He's taking my attention. What are you doing, mate?
Right, let's just move that away from there. I'm ducking out of the thing.
Just because he's going to knock over. There we go. That's the thing.
You do that there. Sorry, Jackson.
Sorry.
He's like, why have you just taken that from me? Look at him.
So we digress.
Yeah, we do.
So, yeah, my mum would say to me, you're way too picky, you just pick one. Just pick, and you know what she used to say to me, which is very nice. She'd be like, just find a friend. You've got lots of boy mates, find a friend. And then I ended up actually getting with a friend. Maybe I did it to shut her up. And she takes full accountability of that. She's like, that was my doing. I kept telling you to get with a friend and you ended up with a friend. And I was like, yes, me and Tom fell in love because you told us to.
Well, the thing is though, right? That you hear that happen though. Like you hear that happen quite a few. Like people that are in really good relationships were friends first. Like friends for like a year, 2 years before. Sometimes even like 5 years before they even get together.
But I still don't really understand how it happened.
Either do I. The whole thing shocked me. I don't know where it came from. Nobody was expecting
Imagine being me.
it.
I had no idea. There was no... People think I'm lying. There was nothing there before.
But he's always got on really, really well.
I've always got on really well with Tom.
And we all had, there was like a wee group of us, like through the whole COVID thing, we were in our bubbles. And we all got on well, but you guys had like, there was something
But I never...
with banter in that.
We had banter.
Yeah.
I remember going on a walk with him, right?
Yeah.
We went on a walk and he has, because he used to be a professional Thai boxer, his foot was clicking and it was doing my head in. And I thought in my head, oh, I could never be with someone like you because that foot would drive me mad.
And it's really loud click though. Can we just put that out there? It's a really loud.
It is. And I've
yeah.
got... Well, we think I'm getting diagnosed for ADHD at the minute. So obviously sounds, for me, sounds, that's why I had to stop earlier, because the dog was making a sound. My ears are going to that sound and it was clicking. But now I don't even notice the click. Like occasionally I notice it, but like, obviously it doesn't offend me at all. It's his body, right? But yeah, so I genuinely don't know. I feel like I jumped universes, but at the time I was doing relationship coaching, wasn't it? And I was getting very clear on what I wanted and focusing more on behaviours and not on looks, which I think I'd done in the past. It'd been more about like energy and looks and excitement and thrill. And I was focused more on safety and trust and care Not saying that he doesn't give me all the extra,
Poor Tom.
but my
does give me
focus
all of that.
has shifted a bit. But my mum used to say I was too picky. She was like, "You're too picky." But I think it's good to get clear on what you want.
And I like, I think just because you found someone that you get on with, there's loads of people out in the world that you could get on with. That doesn't mean that you have to stay with them. That doesn't mean that they are your person that's going to give you the life that you hope to have with your other half, you know. And I think too picky, there's a fear there that there's nobody else out there. I think when you say, "Oh, you're being too picky," well, what, is there not anybody else out there that I could possibly be with then?
Yeah.
If or am I just going to have to find someone that, maybe doesn't make me fully happy, but I'm just being too picky, so I'll stay with them. And then what does that look like in like 20 years time,
It's that lack mentality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a society where there's both. So we've got this lack mentality, or what if there's no one else, and people wanting to be in a relationship because they're scared of being single. And then there's this other disposable mentality where, you are on the apps and you're swiping left and right, left, right.
Well, that's it. And when you're swiping constantly and you're seeing so many people out there,
People become
they think
disposable.
it's abundant. Oh, there's in abundance. I can pick and choose. I mean, dating apps are off. I'm not a fan of the dating app. I know, you were all right. You were quite good at like manoeuvring the dating app, weren't like?
I mean, I met Tom technically off of Hinge. I mean, he wasn't on Hinge.
Yeah.
I went on a date with his friend.
He did. It did work out though. It did go.
Yeah, it didn't. We went on a date. We only went on one date and became friends, actually.
Yeah.
He moved to Manchester from my neck of the woods. And that's how I met Tom. But I was friends with Tom for 2 years when we actually got together. But it's because of that dating app, who aren't, by the way, sponsoring us, but if they would like to.
But the thing is though, like there are a lot of people I know that are with their partner, and they're like people that you think, wow, that is crazy how similar and how well you guys work together. Like not similar, but the opposites, like certain things that just work with them. So it is quite incredible that you can find your person on these apps. And sometimes these apps absolutely do work for you, 100%. With me and some people I know, not so much. Like apps are a little bit, having to message someone. I'm a voice noter. I hate
You can voice
messages.
note.
You can voice note.
I was doing.
You can.
And I would arrange to meet quite quickly. So none of this too much small talk. Talk enough to know that they're not crazy. Although how you'd find that out, I don't know. Always meet in public. But yeah, meeting people first.
And quite quickly, before you spend that time having those conversations, before you meet and you think, actually, this just isn't even, there's no click here.
Here's a question. How long until you know there's no click? Are you a first dater, a two dater, or what do you tend to
Well, right. I was listening to, which is interesting, I was listening to something yesterday, I can't remember what the podcast was called, but it was on Diary of a CEO, and they were talking about, there's a dating expert on there, and I can't remember her name, and saying that always have your default should always be a second date, because first date you can be nervous, you just things just might not sit. Obviously if the person is like 100% not for you, like this really for something, maybe you don't feel safe, maybe you're just like absolutely not, but your default should always be a second date so you can get a good taste of who they are.
What about, I'm watching a lot of Married at First Sight at the minute, and you get a lot of not my type. You go on a date, not your type, you don't feel that way, because obviously me and Tom have openly said that, we weren't stereotypically each other's type on paper. So that's come from like a place of friendship and a place of love or whatever. How often do we disregard people because we meet them and we go, because I know I was guilty of that. It would always be, yeah, you're not what I would. And it's not even like I had like a specific type, like blonde, blue-eyed, or tall, dark, handsome, or whatever. It was just like, not sure if this is. And it was also about energy, if the energy wasn't right. So how often do we discount people based on that, when obviously I remember being a kid and working at McDonald's, and I fancied a guy through his personality. I ended up going out with a guy from there because it was something that grew over time, but initially I didn't fancy him. So how are we even giving people a chance?
I don't think, no, not all the time. No. But I think if you do go on that second date, then yeah. And I think also voice noting is quite a good way to get someone's, like we're saying through voice notes, you get the energy of that person as well. But I'm the same, like I would have, types, you've got certain types, but energy, I'm a sucker for the energy. I'm like, if you've got good energy, I'm sucked in, so you think you've got a type, but when you do have that conversation and you do give them that time, actually, wait a minute, there's more going on here. There's a connection created. It doesn't have to be just obviously first physical, because physical doesn't even last. And yes, you obviously have to be no, you don't have to, but it's nice to have at least look at someone and think, I find you attractive. Because when you like someone, you find different things in them that you're like, oh, that's cute. It comes, right?
It comes from different places though.
Yeah.
Like when Tom does, I don't know, something like amazing for me, it could just be as small as that hill and he goes to the shops.
Yeah.
That's really attractive. That's really sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I suppose we miss a lot, don't we, by not giving people, and I think I was guilty of that as well. I think I got sucked into kind of this disposable culture, looking for that. And I ended up only really liking the ones that were unavailable, which pointed to me, and that's when I did the relationship coaching, pointed out to me that there was something going on there that was stopping me from getting in a long-term relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is like, yeah, you attract what you are yourself. Like if you're feeling that you aren't good enough, then you might attract someone that also has those things of they feel they're not good enough, and then that can create this imbalance and can actually shake the foundations of what you're trying to build in the first place. So yeah, like,
but it goes deeper than that, doesn't it? Because with the coaching that I had, with the relationship coaching, I thought I'd had 2 previous relationships. One was quite a toxic one, and one was, a long-term one, which was, fine, good, yeah. And I thought it was the toxic one that had messed me up, the one that I was with for like a year and a half or whatever. And it was actually because of the 7-year one or the 6.5-year one. I had loads of guilt left over from that relationship, which I didn't realise. He was a good guy, and I felt guilty for breaking his heart, for leaving. And that was holding me back from leaning into a relationship with a nice guy or a good guy, because actually it wasn't about me not trusting them. It was about me not trusting myself. And I would not have realised that unless I'd had that coaching. And then after that, that's when I fell for Tom. I realised, so it was all almost like I was always going for the unavailable guy or the guy that would mess me around, because at least I knew that would end and then I couldn't hurt them and they couldn't hurt me. There was just a general lack of trust. But I remember that being such a huge moment in my coaching where I was like, wow, I never thought it was because I didn't trust myself. I always thought it was because I didn't trust them. Might drop my link.
but that is huge. I think when you do figure out there's certain things that you are doing and why that's making you choose certain men or draw towards certain men and then not others, and you do, like, we've all been at that stage where we just wanted the excitement, the buzz of something, but actually that buzz and that yes, you do obviously want excitement with your partner, of course, and that can, as you're saying, that doesn't have to just be even there for the first day that you meet and you're like, oh, that can build, and getting to know the person, as you're saying, like, and finding that. But I think in a lot of people, I was bad for that. I'd just be like, oh, the excitement of it, oh, the exciting people, like let's jump in. But I think you look to see, okay, with coaching as well. Like I get coaching. Case my coach, it's brilliant. For my coaching,
Not really said what we do.
Well, I didn't know. We'll have to say that'll be another one. But with that, through the coaching, like even me, like I didn't trust myself, because obviously my last relationship was a 3-year cheating, like cheated on me, and all. You just think, well, do I trust myself that I would actually walk away if I recognised those signs again? And it takes so long to heal a broken heart. It can take, doesn't always, because obviously if you've had certain things that you've worked through, if you're coaching, but at the end of the day, your heart is broken. It's going to take a little bit to try and fix that, to build that back up again. I think putting the trust in someone to potentially break it again, that's scary when you've been through what we're both, and a lot of people have been through quite some bad relationships. And then building that trust up in yourself again to say, actually, okay, well, I can trust myself to go in, and if this isn't right, walk away and not stay in something that hurts me so much.
Yeah, and still be okay.
And still be, and that's the thing, come out and be okay. Because I think it's interesting because I think every breakup, it gets slightly easier. But I think the first breakup, losing your first love, that's a hard one. Even if you're not in love with them anymore. I wasn't with mine after it was just under 10 years. You're not in love, but that person has grown up with you, like, especially in your 20s. Like, that person is your family now, like part of your family, your best friend. And then to walk away from that is really hard. So yeah, I think definitely past relationships create certain things in us that we don't realise we're taking on to the next one.
And the patterns that we inherently have anyway.
Yeah.
I think I was always, even though the long-term relationship that I had, the 7-year one, he was a good guy. He wasn't the best boyfriend initially. And I don't think I was the best girlfriend initially, to be honest. But I think I was always going for unavailable guys, or guys that brought a little bit of drama because of my upbringing, because men came and went growing up. So that was maybe a rule in my head. Men come and go, they don't stick around. I don't deserve to have a good man. All of these different limiting beliefs that were kind of motivating me to attract a guy that ultimately wouldn't stand the test of time. And it wasn't until I changed what I was going for that my success, hopefully, I am engaged, but we'll see, it all changed. I'm wondering, because it reminds me of Married at First Sight as well, because they were I'm watching the Australian one at the minute, and they were basically talking to this guy and saying, we paired you with this person because before you were going for younger girls, you were going for XYZ. We've paired you with something different because those relationships never worked. And he was kind of still stuck in his headspace he was like, no, you're wrong. And he's left the show. But what patterns do you think that you have? I'm wondering, Sarah, that have stopped or prevented you from finding your perfect, not perfect, because there is no perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
That have stopped and prevented you from finding your future husband?
I suppose it'd be like, do you know what it is? Not perfect isn't perfect, but what's perfect for me. I suppose that's different because everyone's like what's right for them, what's right. So people, you might look at a relationship and think, oh, they're the perfect, but that's not what they have isn't right for you.
But you don't know what's right for you until you look and try something that could be wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. And I think it was interesting because you kept saying to me, you were like, you need to go on dates. But I'm like, but I know what I'm looking for. And it's interesting then when I, go on dates and and then I learn, actually, wait a minute, there's more characteristics that actually I want in the person that I'm moving forward in. Like, so that's been eye-opening and just amazing to take that away from it. But because I was just like, oh, no, can't be bothered dating. I'm just single, I'm very happy, being independent, do my own thing. I've got my friends, blah, blah, blah. And when that man comes, I'll know exactly who it is. But I think doing the dating thing obviously opens your eyes to a lot of what you want and what you don't want.
Do you think
even more
we have to be proactive? Because I think there's a lot of people out there, men and women, who kind of say, I'll know when it comes. It will happen when it happens. Yeah. But you think about that person, if you are wanting a monogamous relationship and marriage and a future and children for the rest of your life kind of thing, if you're wanting that is going to be one of the most important things to you in your life. And we think about how much time and energy we give our career. Why don't we put the same amount of time and energy into finding that person, or even a percentage, a small, tiny percentage of it? Why do we leave it up to fate? Or why do we, why, if it's and it's so important who you share your life with, who you coexist with, it changes everything. Changes the way that you feel about yourself. It changes the choices that you make in your life. It changes your happiness. It changes your energy levels. It changes, if you've got a partner who's pulling you down or dragging you down, that's going to make you feel very contained. If you've got someone who elevates you, uplifts you every day and makes you feel $1 million, or who tries to, when they can, That's going to change things. Why don't we put enough effort? Do we put enough effort into finding a partner these days?
Oh, you're right. It is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, right? To decide who you're married, who you're living with, and who you're having children with. Because even having kids with, if you have kids with the wrong guy or the wrong girl, that can really have horrific effects.
But maybe that's the problem, though, because we think of it as, I don't want to have kids with the wrong guy. There is no wrong guy. Like, wrong makes it makes the fear feel really big, doesn't it? Like, wrong. Maybe we need to accept that we might get it wrong.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't stop us
From doing it, from actually committing to it. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I think as it does, it is the fear of, I know people in my life that have had kids with other people, and it's really, it's not pretty. It's really not pretty. What they're having to go through for them. Yeah, it's not pretty. So it does, it makes you think, oh my goodness, I need to find Mr. Perfect before, or Mrs. Perfect, before I decide who I settle with. Because you see that happen and you just think, I would never want, I wouldn't want to be in that situation because it's hard. It's very hard. But yeah, I think people, I know right, going back to the question of, do you know when you said why people do it? I think people, they hope that they're just going to find someone in life, because that is a romanticized version, that you are somewhere in life and all of a sudden you see this person and you just think, oh, hi. And it just naturally happens, rather than being on the app, or if you're on an app, it's like you're trying to make it happen, which is what you should be trying to obviously open yourself to things. But I think it's the romanticized version of you will find someone in life, maybe in the workplace or when you're out, or they'll just be that person for you that just happens to be something sort of magic that happens when you meet that other person, and meeting through an app, the first thing you're chatting, that magic can't happen because you're messaging back and forth. But you're messaging back and forth, so you don't actually know, unless you send a voice message, because a voice message, it could, I mean, this is up for debate, so it'll be interesting to see what people think. But if you're voice messaging, okay, cool, I can get the sense of their energy and be like, you hear their voice and you're like, oh, because obviously voice is huge, right? You're like, oh, this person sounds lovely. Okay, cool. But if it's through a message, I don't connect with me. Like, yeah, they might make me laugh, but I don't know. I don't connect with it. So I think that's why in life, when you meet someone and you feel their energy, you meet them and it's like the eye-to-eye contact, you see them.
But do you see
magic of it?
You see a presentation of what they want you to see on a first date.
I mean, very true. Very true.
Right? Because none of us, we all show up as our best versions on first date.
But what happens if it's not a first date? What happens if it's just in life and you just happen to just bump into them and, at work, or...
Sarah's still living the romanticized.
But I think that's why. But I really do think that's why a lot of people will be like, well, that's what I just want to happen in life. It'll happen naturally and organically.
So I don't think I took that approach when I was single. I was like, I know what I want. I'm going for it. And I'm going to put myself out. Yeah. I'm going to figure out where I need to grow and what I need to learn. And some people I saw did teach me some of the things that I needed to learn about myself, as well as what I wanted in a relationship and what I didn't want in a relationship as well. It's interesting. So I want to go back to the patterns, though.
Oh, yeah, I forget your question.
Well, you started talking about how in the past you'd been cheated on, and that's created this kind of sense of distrust in men because you were hurt so much. So what has been your transition through that? How are you through the other side? Have you gotten through the other side? How are you navigating that process now of being hurt so much from the past? Because I think sometimes we can use different excuses like, oh, I want this romanticized version of how I met my partner. That can be an excuse that covers up the fact that last time we were so broken and we were so hurt that we don't want to put ourselves through that again. We don't want to expose ourselves to that intentionally again. So how have you navigated through that process?
I'm still navigating through that. I mean, obviously through, I've had you as my life coach for the last 2 years, and that's been huge. But obviously that's been in a lot of different areas of my life, like especially career-wise, anxiety-wise, confidence-wise. When it comes to relationships, I think that's something that we're needing to dip into, because I didn't realise that...
Well,
I'm dipping in.
Yeah, you've avoided a little bit of going into the relationship part for a while, haven't you?
I have. I'm like, no, we're fine. Happy single. But yeah, like I think that's something I'm going to have to open up and have those conversations about, because I didn't realize that I actually do go in and I don't, there's a trust issue there. And I think the worst thing is, like, every relationship I've been in, there has been something that's come up that has been, I can't trust you. It's, I've waited for someone and they've proven to me, I can't trust you, or you will be interested in other girls, or you will look the other way sometimes.
Did you go into every relationship thinking you will look the other way?
Not my very first one. My very first one, not that I'm aware of, because this was years ago, man. This was like, I think I met him at 17. But then when I was with him, he started looking at blondes. Or like, he was just checking out blondes. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. But then I found out, obviously, I had a friend that he was getting really close to, who really liked him, who was blonde. So then I connected with him. I was like, okay, well, if there's ever a blonde in the room, then you're going to check her out. But there was actually reasons behind it, because he did. And he was having an emotional relationship with this girl. And that's where, I think that's where a lot of it began.
Do you think our early relationships kind of bring in those generalization, because that's a generalization, isn't it? You know, he had an emotional relationship with a blonde girl in the past. So that means that I can't trust him with any blonde girl in a room in the future.
Yeah, it definitely put the fear there was fear there for it, yeah.
And did that go into future relationships? I'm wondering, like, were you weird with blonde girls with your next partners?
Do you know what? No. I think it was just all, but then I went to the trust of, I always thought that
You weren't enough.
I wasn't enough in someone, they're going to look another way. And then when they did, I'm like, well, just proving that one, like, you know,
And
knew
that's
you
the
were going to
case
do
of
that.
Are you going for a guy that's going to do that?
Yeah.
Because it reaffirms your belief.
Right. So right now, I am on this journey of trying to figure out how I can go in and just, and trust and be okay, and just be like, do you know what? I am worthy. I bring all these qualities. And even if you bring that in, how do you navigate being able to fully trust someone when you have been broken so many times by someone who has broken your trust?
Do you think you need to trust someone or just trust yourself? Because if you trust yourself that you are able to be okay, whatever happens, even if you end up getting in a relationship with a guy, getting married, having children, and I always say this, I'm like, I see me and Tom having a really strong future, but I'm not naive to the fact that in 10 years' time, it might not be where we are. So there is that element of letting go of it being forever. Do you think if you trust yourself to be able to cope with that, be able to cope with anything that comes your way, it would take that fear away? Because if you know, I will be okay. Yeah, it might hurt and I might have to spend some time healing, but I will be okay. And if you know that in your heart of hearts, do you think that that's enough? Is it really about trusting them, or is it more about trusting you to listen to your instinct, trusting you to listen to your gut, trusting you to leave when necessary, trusting you to speak up when you're having problems, trusting you to heal if you end up breaking up, trusting you to be able to navigate the relationship and the challenges that come with that?
Do you know, I think, yeah, definitely trusting myself. And I think with the last couple I've been in, it's been interesting because I have managed to be like, okay, I'm feeling something or something's not right. I need to leave, because I didn't actually ever think I'd be able to do that after the really bad one with the last one for 3 years. But I think there's also the fear comes in. It's interesting you're saying that, because then the fear comes in of, but I've not got time. I've not got time to give to someone that I could give them 2 years. And then if they do that, where does that leave me? I'm mid-30s. I want kids, you know? So I think definitely there's a fear there, and a thing of, if there's even a smidgen of that I can't trust you, I think I gotta go.
And then we've come full circle to the, are you too picky?
Am I too picky?
Because if there's a smidgen...
Yeah.
If there's a smidgen of
distrust.
But distrust, I think, is your non-negotiable. But it's interesting what you would quantify as distrust, isn't it? Like, what is an example of distrust? This is the thing, because knowing you, I don't think you are irrational when it comes to
Yeah, no.
that.
No. It's very observant. That's what I would say. I observe.
She's got a hawk of
Yeah,
of
I
an
see
eye.
everything.
She
It's
sees everything.
it can be amazing, but it can be so annoying sometimes. Like I just sometimes like I just don't want to see it. But then not in a sense of cheating. My God, I want to see it all the time. If that's happening, you'd want to see it, but it's so bad. But yeah, I think that's something I'm on a journey. That I'm definitely on a journey now, and I think it's been amazing that I've recognised it now to think, okay, I need to actually, that's something I want to work on and grow from, and then be able to move forward and say, okay, cool, I can. This isn't. It's like thinking in the back of my mind, it's going to happen, because I shouldn't be thinking in the back of my mind, this is going to happen.
No,
you know?
and what kind of relationship would you attract if you were going into it?
Yeah.
As this is going to be, I'm trusting, I'm open, I'm vulnerable, I'm not letting fear take over, I'm not letting lack take over, I'm going to allow my previous experiences to sabotage my future experiences. I'm not going to live in the past. What would happen if you had that approach? But it's hard, isn't it, to overcome that, because our lived experiences teach us, you know, and pain teaches us through neuroplasticity. It teaches us we learn how to prevent pain and how to move towards pleasure, and
Yeah. And
our past experience of course change our perception of the world and the perception of ourselves and the perception of the people that we go for moving forward.
Yeah. And I think as well, when you have been single for so long, it's really hard to let that go. That's one thing. It's really hard to, you've been single, you learn from that. So your past experiences, what you learn, you grow, you get really strong. And then, oh my God, letting someone in on that?
Tell you what,
That's difficult.
one of the things that helped me was the accountability of my part in it.
What do you mean?
In terms of, why was I going for unavailable guys? Why was I going for guys that could hurt me? Why was I? And as soon as I kind of noticed my pattern, I started to realise, oh, I am the problem.
It's me.
Swifty. It's me.
Well, obviously,
problem.
yeah, it is you. But then obviously, if someone's treating you a certain way, they shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
that
but
anyway. But then
I
we accept that
allowed-
behaviour. That's something we should talk about as well at one point, because like I think definitely allowing, it's disallowing. Because I remember when you first said that to me, you were like, "Yeah, but you allow," and I was like, "Oh, how dare you? I did not allow. How dare I did not let." But really, I stayed and allowed that behaviour to happen to me.
I mean, I've done the same.
Yeah.
I've stayed when I should have left and allowed certain behaviours, but that was the moment that changed everything for me. I'm still working towards, creating a healthy relationship every day with Tom. We work at it really hard together, but I think that was a moment, and I still have to currently do that with Tom. Even when I'm coming at him, so what he said, he's like, coming at me. I'm like, okay, so where do I need to be responsible here? Where's my accountability? I think in the past I have blamed, and that's kind of kept me locked in a cycle and a pattern of continuing the same behaviours.
Yeah. And then where does that get you?
No,
Same place. Yeah.
but we would love to know your thoughts.
Yeah.
So have you got any patterns that you've noticed? Do you have any reflections about what we spoke about today? And are you too bloody picky?
Or are you just
Not picky enough.
you've done so much work that you're like, do you know what? I know what I want. Why am I settling? Why do I settle?
I'm sure I like that word, settling, though.
Settling.
Awful word, that, isn't it?
To settle.
When people
To
say
settle.
settle, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, that's it, because it's not nice to set. Because what does that mean?
But what was quite interesting earlier, you said, when I'm finding the person that I want to settle down with, we use it with both, don't they?
Yeah, we
to settle down with, and are you settling? And I'm, I love NLP, so I'm thinking about the language that's used and the effect that has.
Yeah, definitely. Like the fear. Are you living in fear? Are you with someone because you're scared that
There's no one better.
there's no you're scared there's no one better? And that is a question to ask. Like,
I'm
are you
this podcast,
scared?
I'm like, that's I'm joking.
But is it, are you
Joking.
scared, or are you, have you found someone that is your perfect
Your
person?
person.
Your person. I was going to say so perfect to you is very different to everybody else, but what's right for you?
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
And what's right for you right now?
Yeah.
And what's been your approach in navigating a long-term relationship if you're in one? Let us know. I want to know. And thanks so much for listening.
Thank you. Bye.